to talk to you about resiliency. Resiliency in parenting to adopted children. So, as you know, adopted kids come with a hot set of needs and some pretty vibrant dynamics that they bring to the parent-child relationship and to the relationship within the home. So we're going to touch base on that today. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Brooke Fremouw. I am a proud adoptive mom to 11 beautiful children, ages, let's see, Maddie's 8 and my oldest is now 25. So yeah, been through a lot of what it is that you're going through, and we're going to break it down for you today. I help moms quiet the storms in their hearts and in their homes and bring happiness, health, and peace back to the home environment. So thank you for joining. I am going to be giving away 5 free strategy calls to work with you on implementing some of the things that we talk about today. So if you are interested in those 5 free calls, just comment yes in the bottom and I'll make sure to get you that link so that you can book a strategy call with me. Okay, fantastic. Let's dive into this. I do have a couple cheat sheet things that we're going to be working with today. So I hope that I can make it nice and visible for you what it is that we're working on. So don't judge me for my looks, folks. I'm telling you, we've been in quarantine with my children and I had foot surgery. So just all this prettiness, just take it in and let that part go. Focus on the content, people. All right, so here we go. I asked on my Facebook page yesterday, moms, what do you do to help with resiliency in your home with your adopted child? I want to read to you some of the results that we got. I had a lot of really, really funny, creative, and insightful answers. So let's see if any of this resonates with you, okay? I said, what do you do for resiliency in the home? First of all, I was impressed that nobody said, what's resiliency? I don't know if everybody just knows that or if they went to Google and typed it in before they answered the question, but I was impressed. So we heard things like patience. You've got to be patient, mom. A strong support system, not comparing your parenting or your kids to others. Be understanding. Have thick skin. Faith in God. Unconditional love. Not taking things personally. Forgiveness. I loved this. Tequila. We don't drink in our household, but I get it. Believe me, I get it. Or I have no good answers. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But first, let's identify what is resiliency. Resiliency is the ability to be in the battlefield, right? To be in the storm, to be in the relationship that's currently not as healthy as you'd like it to be, and to be able to still run that race, right? It's being able to be healthy and have clear thinking and self-controlled body and go about the problems without being out of control, overwhelmed, underwhelmed, right? Being so stressed out that you just don't know how you're going to wake up tomorrow. Not being so afraid of what the future holds for your children. Is your child going to be a functional adult the way that it's going? It doesn't look good, right? So yes, resiliency isn't just surviving the battlefield, it's thriving within that battlefield, okay? So that's what we're talking about when we talk about resiliency. And the key to resiliency, there are 2 key components, okay? First, we have to identify what your threshold is. Threshold is a term that a lot of moms are not familiar with. It's a very clinical term, but I'm going to draw it out for you, okay? So what we have here is life, okay? And this area in life, I hope you guys can see this. Shout at me if I need to do something different. So this is like literally you're going to jump off a cliff. And this is I am so depressed I can't get out of bed, okay? So this is the extreme, oh my word, this is the depression that's so severe, right? These are 2 ends of the spectrum that most people never get to. And here in the middle is what we would call your threshold. So let me draw your threshold out. Your threshold area typically for a normal parent would look something like, maybe like this, okay? So like all you typical moms and dads out there that have maybe some kids with like normal kid issues, you've got your highs, right? And you've got your lows. And right here, was when you were at Disneyland. You were like rocking it out, right? At Disneyland. It was a really, really good moment. And then you came home and they were out of their structure and routine and they got really ugly. So you've got those ups and you've got those downs. But what happens when you have an adopted child that has experienced toxic stress in their life? So either that ongoing pressing toxic stress or they've had trauma issues, right? Your threshold issues go, woo! And it looks more like that, right? So this is your child like, oh my gosh, mom, I totally just made a new friend at school and life is so good. And then down here is like, I hate you. And I am going to go get a butcher knife from the kitchen cabinet and I'm going to stab the countertop with it. Yeah, personal experience. That happened in my life. Right? And your children, they go quickly up and quickly down. And a lot of times we spend more like this. I don't know if y'all can see me, but I'll bring it back up. So a lot of times it looks like this. Do you guys see this? So what we have here is a child came to your house, thought it was going to be Disneyland. And then reality sets in that just because the environment changed didn't mean that all of a sudden their wounds were healed. It didn't mean that all of a sudden everything was okay. And so now they're just stuck down here. But remember, our threshold of tolerance is this. This is like the normal range of what a person can tolerate without inappropriate behaviors. So there are two ways to have resiliency, okay? They are not the ways that you guys answered, and God bless you. Those ways are examples of tools that some people use to manage these components, but there's only two ways for you to have resiliency. You either need to expand this threshold upward and downward. Can you guys see that? Right? We either need to take these bars and move them to where things don't affect your ability to function at the same way in which they were before, or we have to change this environment completely, right? Change the environment completely to where you're not being pushed outside of the threshold on a regular, continual basis. You and I, before we had adopted kids, we functioned in here all the time, right? We functioned in here all the time, or maybe it was just your job. You had a career that was really hard, and your boss sometimes made you dive into ugly places of highs or lows, aggression or depression, right? So possibly those were things that happened, but for the most part, you rode right in this threshold of tolerance. But what's happened is your threshold has actually gotten smaller, moms. See, your kids have pushed you so hard and so consistently that now it doesn't take much to get you over the top stressed out, right? When you've seen your daughter flip out every day in a row for 3 weeks, you wake up and you have no ability to be able to handle what's coming next. You're already out of your threshold. You never get a chance to re-regulate. So we have to either change the environment to where it's safe and you can regulate again, or we have to give you skills to expand this threshold so that things don't bother you at the same level that they bothered you before. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go back to that list of things that you moms had written, because there were some things in here that definitely will do one of those two key components, right? A strong support system, what does that do? It can change your environment. It gives you parents that you can go and take a break, put your kids in trusted hands and de-accelerate your environment, right? So in that case, it's shifting the environment, not necessarily changing your threshold of tolerance, right? Let's look at another one though. Somebody said faith in God. Prayer and meditation has been scientifically shown, right? To be able to bring down your stress and expand your actual threshold. So when I am working with moms, we are looking at both factors. We are looking at your threshold, we're looking at your child's threshold, and we're looking at the environment itself. What things can we do to increase your child's threshold so that they are more regulated and they have less behavioral issues that are triggered from what's going on inside of them? right? We look at your threshold. What are we doing for your threshold, right? And then what does the environment itself do to both of you, your child and yourself, in order to be able to best regulate both of your thresholds? Does that make sense? Okay, so let's recap this. 2 key components to resilience. Resilience is the ability for you to be able to thrive, not just exist, but to thrive in your home environment. That's your parenting resilience, to be able to engage in conflict without going out of your threshold. For you to be able to have conflict come at you and not have you go out of your threshold, right? So those 2 key components to you being able to have the kind of resilience we're talking about are expanding your threshold to where you can handle more without feeling the pressure of it, and reducing the stressors in the environment to where your threshold doesn't have to keep being pushed. All right. So yes, I can't get on Facebook Live and tell you all of the tools that we use to be able to manage those 2 key factors. But in understanding those 2 key factors, hopefully it will help you take a look at what's going on inside of you, inside of your children, and inside of your home. And then if you're interested in putting together a support plan for you and your family, you could be one of the 5 people. So just hop into the comments, say yes, send me the link. I want to book a strategy call with you. It's absolutely free. I am here to help you, to help your family, and to get you guys into that relationship that you've been looking for. That's what I do. I calm the chaos in your hearts and in your homes and return your family and your relationships back to happiness and health. Thank you so much for checking in. And I hope this actually recorded, because Facebook Live is doing something different. I don't even know what it is. But yeah, anyway, look forward to catching up with you guys next time.